Please let me edit like a dragon Ishin. Playing this game makes me feel like Harvey Weinstein in Entourage. Maybe not him, but it does make me feel like an English teacher who just asked Christine Chandler to write an essay on her favorite Sega franchise. There is a lot of passion behind this game, but I'm not sure if it's all a good idea. The game touches greatness, but ultimately it drags harder than Hector's corpse. The combat is good fun. It's a classic beat 'em up in the Yakuza style, except this time you get to use guns and swords. And that sense of classic Yakuza schlock works insanely well when dealing with complicated samurais. But there is far too much dialogue in this game. Just like in OG Yakuzas, except they can get away with it. This system works great when there's 8 titles to add minute detail to that the player might give a shit about, but this is a spinoff. It's a one-time thing, baby. Like a Dragon Ishin is a pump and dump at its best. It wouldn't let you take it further even if you were ready to settle down. It truly is for the streets. And to make it worse, the game opens on its climax, so you already have a really good idea of where the characters are going and where the story is going to take you at the instant you start the game. And then they drag you into conversation after conversation, explaining the political climate of the time in detail. And that's great. I love how it's accurate. The glossary section, I love it, but you just don't care narratively because you know what's happening. The only thing you do care about is finding the man who killed your father and cutting cannonballs in half like a true samurai does. Fans of the series will say that I feel this bloat because I'm playing it wrong. That any true samurai would treat this game like a series of street vendors. Each subplot in game system is something for you to snack on, whether it's sushi, getting drunk, or gambling with chickens. But if you only eat sushi every day, you're going to get bored, develop mercury poisoning, and lose the hair on your chest. Not very samurai at all. And I, Jonathan Rosenblum, head game critic at Tibbs TV, might not be perfect, but these critiques are right. I am playing this game wrong. I'm basically complaining about a racing game when I'm only driving in reverse. I should be looking at this game outside of the main narrative. That leads into another critique of all Yakuza spin-offs, and Ishin in particular, which is that the subsystems may be numerous, but they're way undercooked compared to the main series. In Like a Dragon 8, you can become a businessman, a star baseball player, and a native English speaker.
Go, go, go! Go your way! Believe yourself!
In Ishin, you can only become a farmer, cooking your meals and tilling the land with your ward, who is weirdly a Japanese girl, in the hopes that you learn that there is something more to life than just the way of the blade. In fact, they literally call this the other life portion of the game. On the flip side, you could become a degenerate gambler, sell your farm to keep up with your losses, and resort to selling out your body to survive. Which is to say, Ishin does have fun minigames, but they just don't go nearly as deep as the other series. And especially in today's gaming culture, where damn near every game lets you farm and gamble in it, it doesn't feel like much. And all of my critiques could be solved by trimming just a little bit of the fat in this game, which is funny because I love fat games like Yakuza. I want 70 hours for my $70. But it's a spin-off. It's boring as shit to sit through some of these long-winded dialogues you can't skip. The game sort of even trains you not to pay attention, with cutscenes that you need to listen to being pre-rendered, semi-important lines being voiced, but so much of this dialogue is the completely skippable in-game typewriter sound effect. There's even a quest where you have to listen to some woman's story and pay attention to what she says because you realistically just don't give a shit about that kind of dialogue. And all of this bogs down the otherwise great systems like the combat. I mean, each style feels very different to use. Guns are hilarious because you can just sit there and press Y and literally kill entire bosses. Especially when you compare it to Like a Dragon 8, which was incredibly slow and clunky in its combat. Being able to pull out a gun and just shoot your enemies is just fun. I generally wonder how much better this game would be if they just cut down on the non-voice dialogue, edited it down just a little bit, or on the other hand, commit 2000% to making it a farm sim. Make it a Harvest Moon game but with a Yakuza main town. Put in an insane story about a Ronin samurai banding together to protect his farm. I can just see it on the Nintendo Direct now. With the Game Standard here at Tibbs TV, I'm Jonathan Rosenblum.